Hey guys, this is Sammy from Not Your Average Glow Up, a safe place where we come, we talk all things mental health, spirituality, and quite a bit of tarot. I want to do a mental health related video today, and I think I can get it in the under 10-minute mark. If not, I'll do a part 1 and part 2 here on TikTok, and I'll just film a full detailed video over it on YouTube. By the way, my YouTube channel is Not Your Average Glow Up. I only have one platform on absolutely everything. Everything is Not Your Average Glow Up. No caps, no symbols at all. So if there's numbers or an extra letter or an underscore or something, that's not me, and I will never reach out to you for a tarot reading because I'm getting a lot of scam accounts trying to pretend to be me now. But anyways, I learned something in therapy today. So we're going to get nerdy with it. We're going to get I'm going to geek out, and this is something that I learned in therapy in group today, and I want to share it with you guys because being neurodivergent, this really genuinely helped me. Like, I had a major breakthrough in group therapy today. And we were talking about neurobiology, and we were talking about the bank in your brain and the filing system, right? And we're talking about your hippocampus and your amygdala, right? So bear with me, this is wonderful. This is like how you can kind of like heal trauma. I don't think you can heal it, but like work through your trauma and develop healthier patterns for yourself. So let's get nerdy for a minute, and I'm going to try to dumb this down as best as possible, okay? We're talking neurobiology though, so it's hard to dumb it down. But basically, your hippocampus is like the hardest working bitch in your brain, right? She is like the filing system, right? And whenever you have like trauma or whatever, she puts it in like a filing cabinet, right? And then anything that she gets, like any memory, any input, like a movie or whatever that's similar to that, she puts in the same filing cabinet, right? And then she teams up with the amygdala, and the amygdala gets the information from the hippocampus, and then she sounds an alarm, right? She's the one who floods your brain with cortisol and all of those chemicals that send you into fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. Fawn being people pleasing, because a lot of people don't know what that means. That is my initial response, is the fawn response, people pleasing. Just pretend that I like it, you know? So essentially what happens is you have a trauma, right? That forever changes your brain chemistry. Whenever you have a significant trauma, your brain chemistry is altered, right? And that trauma is a new file within the hippocampus, right? And then your brain, in order to protect itself, because that's all your brain is trying to do, is protect itself. Whenever your brain sees something similar to that initial trauma, it floods your body with those same chemicals that send you into fight, flight, or freeze, the same exact response that you initially went into when the big initial trauma happened, right? For me, fawn, okay? But for you guys, it might be fight. So you might react in anger. It might be freeze. Either way, those exact same chemicals are coursing through your body. Doesn't matter which pathway your brain chose in order to protect you. So don't ever feel like there's a wrong response, okay? But that you did in that first initial trauma what you needed to do to survive. For me, I went into fawn, right? So I pretended I liked what was happening to me, and I went with it, and it just, that's what I had to do to survive, right? So now, whenever something similar happens, like a person, like my initial abuser who has similar characteristics or whatever pops up, my initial reaction, that my hippocampus sets off all those memories, that original trauma plus movies plus other memories that were similar to that like reiterate that you're in danger, you're in danger, you're in danger, you need to respond, right? Whenever I see somebody like my initial abuser, I immediately get flooded with those chemicals. My heart starts racing, my palms start sweating, my shoulders tense up, all of that, and I drop into fawn, okay? Same thing happens with everybody with trauma, okay? Now, how do you undo it? How do you fix it? 4:44 on the clock when I said that. The amygdala works on a gradient, right? She works on a like a measuring system of like, okay, this is the file, majority rules, majority wins, right? So what you have to do in order to train yourself to not react, because most of the time what you think is dangerous actually isn't. When you get triggered, because something kind of reminds you of your initial trigger, a good like multitude of times, like that initial hurt or trauma, the statistic likelihood of it happening again is very, very low, okay? So a lot of times we worry or we drop into a response out of nowhere. She used the example of seeing a clown in like a grocery store. Like, that's a very weird thing that like is not normal, right? Your trauma is not normal. It's not a part of your everyday life. That's why this has all happened. That's why your brain is rewired, right? She says, so you see this this clown at a convenience store. If your childhood memories are good and positive around clowns, you're not going to think anything of it. You're going to go, oh, that's kind of funny, right? Because your filing system, your hippocampus is filled with happy thoughts, right? But if you have trauma around a clown or fear around a clown, then your brain is going to go, oh shit, that's a threat, right? Or if you watch a lot of horror movies like the It movie with clowns, your brain's going to immediately go, that's a threat, and you're going to drop into that response, right? So how you undo it is to like, it's like exposure therapy. It's pushing through that fear, right? And like when a traumatic instance comes up in your brain, when you get that flashback, right? A lot of times at the height of the fear, at the worst part of the memory, we shut it off, right? We distract ourselves, or we, whatever. If we can push through until the next moment when we felt safe, then we're rewiring our brain and we're going, okay, I made it through it. And then exposure therapy. Now, do not put yourself in danger intentionally, okay? But like, say somebody got attacked by a dog, okay? What they do to get over that fear of dog is to then go to the pound and play with puppies. The puppies are not going to hurt you, right? So then they're rewiring the brain. Okay, well, these puppies aren't going to hurt me. And then they go over to their friend's house, and the friend has the dog like in a kennel or whatever, but you walk over to the kennel and you put your hand up to it, and the dog doesn't bite, it doesn't growl, and you're like, oh, okay. And then eventually they take the dog out, but it's on a leash, and you go, oh, okay. And you're filling that filing cabinet, because you can't undo the trauma. Those memories will always be there, okay? But the amygdala works on a majority rules gradient, right? So you fill the cabinet, you make the file bigger with neutral or good memories pertaining to that thing. So like if you have trauma around like SA or something at like a party or whatever, you continue to go to parties, you continue to be around men or whatever, but you create healthy boundaries. Like when somebody's triggering you, instead of dropping into that fawn response, you go, okay, I'm not actually in danger, but I'm going to protect myself. I'm not going to be alone with this person. I'm going to create healthy boundaries, right? And then you have a positive outcome. You realize, okay, I wasn't in danger. I can live a normal life. And you start to fill that cabinet up, that filing system up with neutral and or good files. So that way when that amygdala sorts through all that stuff that the hippocampus is giving it, when you first initially see something that reminds you of that on a subconscious level, reminds you of that bad memory, now the amygdala has to search for the bad, and you're less likely to drop into that response. And then slowly over time, you're no longer getting triggered the way you used to. You're not getting flooded with those chemicals, the cortisol and all that, and you're not feeling wiped. You're not getting migraines. You're not getting stressed and panic attacks, because you're rewiring the brain, right? It takes time. It is not an easy thing to do, but it can be done. So the object of the game is to fill the file with neutral, safe, and happy outcomes, right? That's how you fix it. That's how you work through it. It's the whole seek discomfort from Yes Theory motto. You gotta like push past your comfort zone and feel it to heal it. That's how you work through it. I hope this was helpful. I love you guys.